In this video, I wanted to share with you what is the maximum color saturation that we can get when using RTX HDR before we start clipping colors and making everything look the same. Because of course, we like to get a more colorful picture, but if you overdo it, you might just make everything look worse. And my plan was to test that using a color clipping pattern through reshade. And I was expecting, of course, if I increase this saturation slider here, I'm gonna start clipping colors. And it doesn't happen. Okay? And that is fantastic. Now, that doesn't mean I would recommend you to just come here and just crank it up to 100%. Just make everything look wild. Of course not. Use your eyes and increase it to the point where you like it. Me personally, I just leave it at 0 because I feel like it is already as colorful as I would like it to be. But feel free to max it out if you like it, because in my testing using this SDR test patterns, you don't get clipping, and that's incredible. And there's clearly something dynamic going on here. Okay, this thing is costing performance for a reason. This thing is analyzing and it is working on a frame by frame basis. Okay, that's why it costs performance. There's no other way to justify what's going on here. How can you increase the color saturation to the maximum and still be able to see the difference in gradients? Okay, so let me explain what I did here. I use paint. Okay, you can just use paint, and of course on the recording you're not gonna be able to see the separation, the difference here, because my camera cannot capture that. Okay, maybe some of it, but here's what I did on paint. I created, using this tool, this line tool. You zoom in and you are going to be painting colors. For example, you open here and you create a color red. That's 255. Okay, that's the most SDR saturated color, the maximum saturation for SDR colors. Okay, and then you just paint a line that is 255. Then you come here again and you paint a line that's 250. So I did 255, 250, 245, 240, like so. And then you just, after doing that, you're zoom in, right? Then you come here and then you're just going to cut that. You just cut that. You cut that section and you copy it onto a new paint file. And then you're going to save that as a PGN. You save as a PNG, as a PNG picture. And then after that, you're going to copy that into your reshade folder. And that file, let me tell you what's the name of that file. We're going to use with reshade, we're going to use the PROD 80 advanced color shaders. Okay, and then the name of that file is going to be inside the texture folders, inside the reshade texture folders, and it's gonna be named PD80 underscore neutral LUT, LUT. Okay, so you just rename that picture, that PNG picture, and that's how you get this test pattern working. So you can have an SDR test pattern in game, and you can do this with any color. Now I do it with the color red because I know my WRGB OLED has red clipping before any other color. Okay, and of course when doing this testing, don't use dynamic tone mapping, use HGIG or tone mapping off maybe, but don't use dynamic tone mapping to prevent clipping from dynamic tone mapping. So in that way you can have a test pattern on the game. That's how I did it, and I was surprised to realize that no matter what I do with the colors here, you just don't get clipping. So you're still gonna be able to see a color separation regardless. Okay, and that's very nice. That's very, very good. But again, I'm not going to increase it more because using my eyes, this is as saturated as I would like it to be. I think it's actually juiced up already. Okay, this is already juiced up. I don't need more than that. Okay, but feel free to increase it as much as you like. What I was gonna tell you is I was planning to see, okay, what is the point where the colors start clipping, to tell you, hey, don't increase this saturation slider more than 80% or something like that. It never happens. It doesn't clip, and I think it's because this thing is smart. Okay, this algorithm is really using something, is computing something to figure this stuff out and adjust, so you get the best picture, and that's how it's fixing the near black, gamma, and everything. That's why it looks so good. This thing is absolutely amazing. So now, before I end the video, let me answer the question. Hey, how about this RTX dynamic vibrance? It doesn't work well with RTX HDR in my experience. I'm not sure if it's a bug for me or if it's going to be fixed on the final version. I believe this is for SDR only, because for with RTX HDR, this is not working right. It's just washing out the colors in a way that it looks broken. Okay, I'm sure that's not intended to be working with RTX HDR in the way I see it. Okay, maybe it's a bug again. Maybe it might be fixed, or maybe I'm doing something wrong. It needs to, maybe it does have a priority order, and maybe I have to enable it after RTX HDR. I don't know. I haven't been able to make it work in a way that is useful at all. So let me know if you have experience with using this RTX dynamic vibrance, if you see any benefits. I don't see it. And again, to change the color saturation, we have a saturation slider here that's working incredible. So why would I try anything different? And also, before I end the video, I already shared these settings but so just you know why I have this peak brightness in 400, the middle grays max out to 100. I would recommend you to leave it at 50. Okay, to use HGIG, I would recommend you to just leave this at 50 and then change the peak brightness to 800. Okay, that would be my recommendation, but I'm not using HGIG here. I turn off Motion Pro for this video because my camera has a shutter speed of 1/60, and this Motion Pro right now is at 100. I had to lower the FPS to 100 to prevent flickering. I'm sorry, to prevent it dropping from 120, because it was dropping in some areas with a lot of reflections. This game has some boss battles that are, I mean, there was a boss battle that was water and then like 4 bosses at the same time, and I was dropping frames. So I lowered it to just set and forget to 100 frames. So I'm using all Motion Pro High at 100, and on the recording, as you can see here, it's gonna be flickering. That's why I turn it off. But yeah, this is why I am using these settings, because I'm using tone mapping, dynamic tone mapping for OLED Motion Pro, and that's why I am increasing this middle grays. So that's another thing that I share with you. This middle grays a slider is absolutely amazing, because you can increase the overall brightness of the game without it looking washed out, without raising the black levels. And it's because this thing is smart. It is adjusting to prevent the issues that you get normally, get with just HDR sliders in games. Usually you increase the midtones and you start washing out everything out. This thing doesn't. That's why it is so good, in my opinion. And then I reduce this peak brightness to 400 because I'm using dynamic tone mapping with 500 nits, 540 nits target, to prevent clipping on the highlights. It looks better. That's why. So I'm coming here to this menu and changing the mastering peak max CLL to 540 or 400. You can change it. That's why I have these settings. But what I would recommend you for HDIG, let me turn this off for a moment so it doesn't flicker on the video. This is gonna flicker like crazy on the video. So my recommendation, if you are not using OLED Motion Pro, is of course use HDIG. So let me change the settings here so you see it. This is what I would recommend if you're not using BF5. So for BF5 off, I would use HDIG, and I've played like this too with VRR. I would use HDIG, and then I would change this RTX settings to be the middle grays at 50, and I would change this peak brightness to 800. Yeah, about 800. That's fine. And that's how I would play. This is how it looks like. And actually, with the settings I'm using with BF5, it looks very close to this. It looks very, very good. But now, of course, this now looks near black. But now this looks a lot better on the highlights, so that the picture has more, HDR impact. This thing is flying. It looks, it's popping. It looks better. But of course, in motion, it's not close. This thing in motion looks very blurry in comparison with the settings I'm using. Even at 120, it looks significantly blurrier than 100 with OLED Motion Pro High, which is like 263 FPS like of motion. OLED like FPS of motion. So that's very, very, very good. That's like a 360 hertz LCD monitor, basically, at 360 frames per second. That's very, very good motion. So yeah, let me know your thoughts and opinions. If you have any other questions about this RTX HDR, I've been playing this game alone. That's why you see I'm showing you this game again and again. I'm like locked in. Okay, I'm just fighting with this guy right here. And yeah, I've been just playing Lies of P for all these days. Let's have one more attempt here before I end the video. This game is it's not as difficult as other Souls-like games, but it's a Souls-like game. So let's see how we do here. This boss is not easy because it has two phases. So you kill it, and then you have to kill it more. You have to kill it again. Oh, I have my HUD off, so I cannot see my health. I cannot see my health. Let's see if I can get that back. I was using the shader toggler. I cannot see my health, the HUD, or anything. I had a hotkey, but it's not working right now because I reinstalled Reshader. I don't know why it's not working, my hotkey. But yeah, you have to basically perfect parry all the attacks if you want to be able to win this battle. You have to perfect parry everything here. It's not easy, but I'm enjoying the game. It's very, very, very good. I think this is close to the end of the game. But I highly recommend it. If you've never tried this, Lies of P, very, very good. You see, every time you see that red spark is because I am perfect parrying the attack. So that's not damaging my health. But that one did. But I cannot succeed here without looking at my health bar. I don't know what's going on. The reason why I don't attack is because I'm just waiting for the perfect opportunity here. I'm just waiting for, okay, this opportunity right here. I can attack him. This one, he's gonna do it 2 times. Now I attack him. So I don't always attack him. You have to be patient. Here I just run away. Yeah, it's very tough without without looking at my health. I cannot play like that. I don't know what happened with the shader toggler. Oh, maybe it is set with the. Oh, here it is. It default to the. It default to the default hotkey when I reinstall reshade. That's what happened. Yeah, this is not a good attempt at all. You see, the enemy is doing the same and the same because it is a two-phase battle. That's why. So I thought, this final boss seems to be very easy, and it's because you have to kill it 2 times. Get some audio here. I turn it off. Yeah, without audio is also tougher. Yeah, this attempt was not good at all. And you can get some help. You can summon. You can summon help, but that's not. I don't do that because then it's completely different. I don't like to summon help. I much rather be fighting with this guy for a week than. Okay, I'm done. It's okay. So let me know your thoughts and opinions, and if you have any questions.